Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. So, interestingly enough, 2 years ago today, I started doing these. I've been doing them every day, except I missed 3. I missed 3 because along the way, I doubted myself. On 2 occasions, I didn't think I was having any impact at all, and so I just skipped a day because I was feeling down and disappointed. Yep, that happens to the best of us, and it can happen to you too. I want to encourage you in those moments. People did reach out, and they did miss them, and it encouraged me, and I was able to pick back up and continue on. The 3rd time that I missed because I was sick and didn't have a voice. I couldn't talk. And so there was no way to do this. And I felt terrible that day. Not because, just because I was sick, but because I had something to share and I couldn't get it out. And what's that got to do with anything? Well, that's just history for the most part. 2 years ago today, in 2020, March 24th of 2020, our governor in the state of Michigan told us we all had to stay home and stay safe. Couldn't go to work. And that was the beginning of our lockdown in the state of Michigan. At that time, people believed it would only last 40 days and that we would see a major uprising of God and whatnot. And we're 2 years in, and people forgot that to get a major uprising of God, the first thing that had to happen was a major uprising of God in them. Today I want to share something that I think is critical for every human being, and here's a truth that you need to know. Every human being is broken. Every human being has hurts, habits, and hang-ups, and every human being needs the sanctification process, what the world calls recovery. Sobriety is one thing. Recovery is a completely different thing. Sobriety says you're not doing a destructive act. Recovery says you're putting the work in to become better. So often in my working with recovery groups and people who come into those groups, they come in, they're broken, and they find a sense of sobriety. And then they let everything around them control them. And they say, no, my recovery is going really well. I've got all this stuff that's going really well. And they get really mad at me because I tell them that they haven't put recovery as their priority. You see, recovery, or the sanctification process, God, has to be above everything else. It has to be your priority. Your wife or girlfriend says, I'm not feeling well. You say, I love you. I'll be home in a couple of hours. I've got to go to my meeting. You say, I don't want to, or I need to work on my car, or whatever. Your next response needs to be, but I need my recovery, because that car won't matter if I don't get my recovery. I need my meeting. Now, can I back that up scripturally? Did God ever say that you had to make him the priority? As I asked the question, every one of you said, well, yeah, he did. So many places I can't count them. But let me share something out of my reading in Proverbs today that you might not have equated to that. And yet it speaks it loud and clear from a wisdom standpoint. Making your recovery, making your sanctification process, making God your priority above everything else. Getting up every morning and reading the Bible. Getting up and going to church on Sunday. Getting to your recovery meeting whenever it is. No matter what, no excuse. Leave others behind to put your connection with God first is critical. You know how I know? Here's a perfect example from wisdom. Proverbs 25, verse 27. Complete your outdoor work and prepare your field. Afterward, build your house. If you haven't gotten your recovery and your connection with God completely solid and know that your fields are planted and ready for harvest, there's no point in building a family relationship. There's no point in fixing the car. There's no point in any of the other stuff that's going on, because you've already failed. In the long run, you're going to crash and burn. In the long run, you're going to have a long, dark winter. So, understand. I don't say it because I'm a jerk. I say it because if you don't make it a priority above everything else, in the long run, you're going to have a really dark winter. And I don't want you to go through that. I love y'all. I truly do. And I hope you have a blessed day. Don't forget, go over to Pastor Stitch on YouTube and subscribe just to help me out so I can get enough subscribers to do some other stuff that I can do over there as well. I love you, and I hope you have a great day. God bless.